Hey, I am IT PhD and today we continue our adventures in C language. In our past lesson we made such dungeon, so it's randomly generated dungeon, and each time when we generate it we have new layout. Yeah, so you see we have always rooms that are in different places, and now it's time to actually connect our rooms together with the corridors. So it's what we'll do today. We will connect rooms with the corridors. And actually I think what we should start with, we should reduce number of rooms, so it will be easier to explain how we will do it. So first of all we would reduce room number variable, so we would comment out our random generation and we will always produce two rooms. So for example, let's take this such case. So we have two rooms, and first of all, the most ancient way to connect rooms, which used in Rogue game, maybe you heard about Rogue game, it's finding kind of relationship between two rooms where they are considering other room, and then they kind of look for the place where they could connect, and after they have the same x coordinate, so this is x, in this case they make such connection. So it's how in game Rogue corridors build it. So first of all we look for the coordinate which will be the same for two rooms, and then we connect it with some vertical or horizontal way. But actually it's kind of more complex way, so there are some more easier way to do it and actually quite effective. What we will do today, we will find a room center. So we will need to find where the room center. For example, it's quite easy, just to we find room size and divide it by 2, and then what we do, we kind of move our coordinate, move the line right till it will be on the other room center. Yeah, like this. So we move this coordinate till it will be at other room center, and then we connect it like this. So it's what we will do today. So while we will code it, I'll also kind of draw it one more time for you to see, so you will remember. So we take, first of all, we need to find centers of the room, and then we will need connect one center of the room with another center of the room. It's what we are going to do right now. Where to start? We would take place when we already placed our first room, and we check it for collision with other rooms, and we filled our database with room coordinates, and we marked our room that okay, it's placed. After we placed the room, we can find it, we could find and store its center. So we would create a variable, a room center y and room center x. So let's, by the way, immediately we would add them as a variable with type. Yeah, like this. They will also be integer, like this. So it's our room center y and room center x. Another thing which we will need, you see, as we have a lot of rooms, so we have, first of all, we have like 2 rooms, but then later on, yeah, when we made this connection, we will create another room, for example, and then what we will need, we wouldn't need this center anymore, and we will need only this center, and we will need to store a new center, this one. Yeah, so we would have this was like R center y, yeah. So at first, but then we define art center y to this coordinate. Yes, and this coordinate become not art center, but it will become like r old center. Why we do so? Because we always kind of generate new rooms, and when we generated this room, for example, we made this connection. Now we do not need anymore this coordinate. We need only this one, and we would find another. So this coordinate will become old, while this we will make it like it will be new coordinate. And this way, when we create another room, this we would like forget, and this will become old, and this will become new, and we will connect it again. So it's our thing. So what we want to create not just one center coordinate, we want to create also another center. It will be old center x and center y. Old. Yeah. So here let's immediately place them like this, without int, of course. Yeah. So, but this old, we would talk about it later. Let's first concentrate on finding coordinate for current coordinate, current centers. So how to find center? We already have our room size, you see, and we have absolute coordinate of ry. Why it's absolute? Because when we create our room, this ry, it's actually up to maximum amount of rows. So this generate room point, we get coordinates like 100 y, 20, like 100 x and 20 y. Yeah, so it's absolute coordinates we get. So what we could take? We could take these absolute coordinates, yes, and then take room size, which we will divide by 2. Because we have room size. So first of all, again, I want just remind you how we work with it, how we generate rooms. Let's regenerate it. First of all, we find a certain point on the screen, for example, this one. It's this stuff. And then we find size. So size, x and y, coordinate size. So it could be like size x will be like 10, and size y will be like 5, for example. Yeah, something like this. So we could take this point and this size. How to find out our center? We take this point, and then we kind of make it plus half of this stuff, half. So half of this and half of this, and this will be center. Yeah. So let's get it now. Here, R center will be ry plus, how it's called? Yeah, here, R size y, divide by 2. This way we would find our center of our room. So it's absolute coordinate ry plus half of the size. And the same one with rx plus r size x divided by 2. So we found our center, and it's cool. So yeah, what now we could do? We can already try to build some corridor. Let's do it. without alt center for now. Let's just build a corridor. How to do it? So first of all, we need corridor only when we already have a room. So we say that if a room placed more than 1, so it's like if it's 2, then, and here we would create a cycle for, and we would make, this is just an example, so we would take y into, we would define y variable where we would put our r center y. Why we do it? Because we do not want to change it. We want to change something else in our cycle. Then our condition will be while y not equal to rows, and we would just increment this y. Yeah, this is just an example. We will rework it soon, but what I want to show you for now is how to draw a line. And then we could like assign y r center x coordinate. Yeah. And we assign to it empty character. So let's try it. Yeah, you see, we made this line from the center of our room. We made the line, which is not bad already. It's something. Yeah, sometimes it could be, it could go kind of even to the room, but most of the time it's kind of to nothingness. So how to make it better? We, as I said, we need target where we will have our second line. First line, okay, with this y we made it, yeah, somehow. But where to put, where our goal? Because yeah, right now we just move the line from the center of the room to the center of the same room, kinda. So we do not have even place where to target. We do not have this target, so we need to store it. And here we will use our alt center. So we will store it. How it will be? So in this case, so if we do not have any rooms, then we store it to our original coordinates. So when we create first room, we just go for our center. But if we create a second room, like if we have more than 0 rooms, then we would use our alt center coordinates to store previous ones. You see, like this. So let's comment it. It will be center, room center, and this will be our saved center of previous room, like this. So you see, when we create our first room, let me make it again. We create our first room. Okay, we saved center coordinates here. Yeah. So we saved it. Now we create second room. And second room, what we will do? We will take this coordinate and we will save it here. This one we will kind of remove. And we will also save these coordinates right here. Yeah. I hope you understand it. And next time when we have yet another room, yeah, yet another room, yeah, this coordinate will become old. This coordinate will become old, while this coordinate will become new. And this way we will just cycle through all rooms, which we basically want to do. And now we could kind of change it a bit. So now when we have our old and new rooms, we could make another cycle here, like this. Let's go. So we create another 4, but in this 4 we use our x coordinates, and we start from old x, and we do not need rows now. Now we will use r center y. So we would look forward towards the center of y. Yeah, let's even right now, let's focus on this one. So here our y, we would move y from one coordinate, but from old center, yes. We would move from old center, our line, toward new center until they will be the same number. The problem is that sometimes our, for example, this is old and this is new. So sometimes our old center will have, for example, y coordinate 5, while new will have y coordinate 1. Then we can't just increase it. You see? That's why we need to make a decision. What should we do? So we would remove, from for loop, we would remove our increment, and we would kind of put it here. We would put a condition. So if our, yeah, by the way, here we should use old center too. We want follow this coordinate. So here, if old center y less than regular room center, if it's less, then we increment our coordinate. But if it's kind of vice versa, we do not want to have equal here, then we use like this. So let's run it. Yeah, I forgot else if. Yeah, it's another typo. So now we make our vertical line in the proper direction. You see here we do not do it because it's kind of in the same place. Here too seems, yeah, and here it works. So we move our, from old center we move to our new center. Here we even managed to connect something. So yeah, it's cool that we did it. Now let's go for x. So we take basically this stuff. Yeah, it's better, but actually it's better to make it in small parts, so we wouldn't. Okay, let's take this risk and let's copy it. It will be not nested loop, but regular loops like this. So we go for x6. So we just replace it. Yeah, okay, I fixed it. So just replace y with x66. So let's test it. Now it works basically, but sometimes you see we have some strange stuff. So we move towards certain point to the right direction, but we kinda do not connect sometimes. Yeah, this is a good example. The thing is that what we do right now, first of all, we go through y, yeah, this one, toward this coordinate, and then we move from the same coordinate toward here, while we should actually move from this one. So what we need? We need to store this coordinate and start not from here but from there. So let's do it. Let's store our y coordinate. How to do so? We will just create a variable like int path path y, and we would use, instead of creating inside of the cycle, we would use this path y coordinate. While it will help us, why? Because if we will use it from the int, it will be visible only inside this for loop, but we want to move it to the next one. Yeah, so this why we replace our y with this paths. And now what we could do, the only thing which we need, we should replace our old center coordinate with this path y. So let's make it. Yes, you see, now our rooms connected properly. Yeah, for example, you see it this way. Yeah, so it wasn't too hard. And let's now go back to having a lot of rooms. Where is it? Yeah, it's here. Okay, and let's test it. Ta-da! And finally, actually, to make it look better, we should increase minimum room size, because right now our minimum room size, it's kind of 2, which is way too small. So minimum room size should be like 5, I think. Y and 8. Oh, okay, let's make it 4. No, 5. 5 by 10. And here we would make smaller variability like this, and also will reduce numbers of rooms, because it's kind of too much we have sometimes. Then it will look much better. So from 5 till 10 rooms. Yeah, you see this way it looks much more legged, much better. So it's like in almost any roguelike game you see something like this. But as I said, there are some other algorithms to draw. Also, I noticed that sometimes we have blank screen here, so it means like endless loop, I think we got. And why we have it? My assumption that we go into endless loop on collision. So sometimes when we increased room size, yeah, so when we make it, let's make it a bit smaller to reduce the chances. So when we increase room size on the screen, sometimes could be such position of rooms when we have a last room which is generated. For example, we have like 10 maximum amount of rooms, like 10 rooms, and then we have endless collision, because there is no spot to put another room. So it's kind of mathematical theorem for you yeah, I think it's possible to count, to investigate, to make research what's the maximum amount of rooms which would fit on the screen, which you should put to your random generation. But yeah, the easiest way to kind of fix it is just add a variable here. So like variable which will be like int loop counter. Yeah, and this loop counter, I think, we should put it not here, but here. Yes, loop counter, even room loop counter. So here, where we calculate collision, we should increase it every time. So, and add condition. So if we make too much attempts, like more than 100, for example, then we should break this loop. Yeah, we should break this loop, but actually not even break this loop, but we should it's kind of, yeah, it's a bit more complex, because if we would just break this loop, we would put our room here. But it's actually okay, I think, to break this loop. Yeah, we could define then very small room. Yeah, so it will be rx like 2 by 2, for example. It's a coordinates, okay. Yeah, and size. So coordinates, let it be somewhere like 11, 11. And room size will be 2 by 2. So in this case, in this rare case, we will just create such a small room. Yeah, so let's try it. So sometimes when we have too much rooms, too big rooms, and we have this blank screen, we will use this way to fix it. Yeah, let me test it a bit. And to test it, let's make it let's make more rooms. Yes, theoretical problem, which is quite practical, but still. So let's make it like this. Let's make really big rooms, and let's go. So our room size, they're very big, and you see, even though we have very big size of our rooms, we can feed them quite alright. And also let's make it not random. So if we would try to put 10 rooms, for example, without this little thing, we would have problems. Let me show it to demonstrate. Yeah, you see? So it's trying to put room and it can't put it. So with this protection, we always can fit our rooms. You see, it's this 11 by 11 small room which we generate in case if we would fail. It was fun to find this little bug. You should look into such bugs and always beware of endless loops, because it's kind of most often mistake. Thank you very much for watching. It was a big pleasure to be with you today and to develop our roguelike game. I'll continue to develop roguelike game and some other games too together with you. Learn C language. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll be very grateful for your comments below the video. I wish you good luck. Bye bye.